Well, folks, as everybody knows by now, Donald Trump pulled off a little bit of a victory in New Hampshire in the first primary in the country earlier this week. 54% Donald Trump, 43% Nikki Haley. So Nikki Haley, by the way, overperformed. Okay? Polls, I know there's the one poll that's like, oh, she's within striking distance. Most of the more recent polls in the last 2-3 weeks had shown that she was like 14 to 16 points behind Donald Trump. She managed to close that gap. Additionally, she got a huge majority of the independents who voted in that Republican primary, actually setting a record for the number of independent voters in a primary. So Nikki Haley overperformed and is still very much in this race. Nevertheless, RNC chairwoman Ronna McDaniel declared after Tuesday evening's results came in that it's time for Haley to drop out and for the whole party to coalesce around Donald friggin' Trump. Here is what Ronna McDaniel had to say to Fox News after the results came in on Tuesday evening. I'm looking at the math and the path going forward, and I don't see it for Nikki Haley. Go ahead and stop right there. You're looking at the path going forward. I mean, we've had 2 contests. We have, 48, 49 more. So yeah, there's just no path. You've had 2 contests. You've had 2 contests. And you're like, nope, it's done. There's no path forward. Really? Even if Nikki Haley were to somehow, I know statistically she wouldn't, but she still could technically win every other state. I mean, that's a thing that could happen in the realm of reality. So for you to be like, oh, there's no path forward. There's literally a very clear path forward for Nikki Haley to win everything. That's still a thing. Statistically, not going to happen. Probability-wise, it could happen. But anyway, McDaniel continued. I think she's run a great campaign, but I do think there's a message that's coming out from the voters that's very clear. We need to unite around our eventual nominee, which is going to be Donald Trump. We need to make sure we beat Joe Biden. It is 10 months away until the November election, and we can't wait any longer to put our foot on the gas to beat the worst president. We need to do everything we can to unite so we can defeat him. We still have a whole lot of primaries to get through. But I get it, right? You want the party to coalesce around Donald Trump so he can be the central figure, so the media can focus more on him and his cognitive slip-ups and the horrible things he says at his rallies, which is only actually going to turn off moderate and independent voters, which would then see a massive flip in the polls where Biden would win in a landslide. That's what you're asking for. Because that's what would happen. I hope everybody realizes that. What happens when Donald Trump becomes the focal point for the Republican Party? Now, he has enjoyed the last year Ron DeSantis taking some of the spotlight off him. And then, of course, when we got into the primary, there were headlines about Vivek Ramaswamy, Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, Chris Christie, Asa Hutchinson got a couple headlines here and there. So now that all those people are gone, except for Nikki Haley, even though the chair of the Republican Party says, get the hell out. With all those people gone, you got empty headlines. So what's been filling the empty headlines since all these other people dropped out? Talk about Donald Trump's declining cognitive state. The fact that his brain is very clearly broken. Because now that there's only 2 people in the race, more attention is being paid to Donald Trump. When more attention gets paid to him, to the horrible things he says, to the crazy things he says, when he becomes more visible out there because he's doing more rallies now, what happens? We have a historical precedent that tells us what happens. The more they see him, the more they dislike him. Coalescing around Donald Trump, especially with more than 48, because we still got the territories that'll vote in the primary, 48 contests left, and you want people to coalesce to make Trump the focal point? Honestly, I hope you do it, because that is poison for your party, because Ronna McDaniel's not smart enough to look back at what's happened all of the other times Trump's been the focal point, and it absolutely devastates the Republican Party. Hi, everyone. This here is little Athena, and Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet, so please don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.